A lot of work goes into making a game, and when that game is originally developed in another country or language, oftentimes localization is necessary to bring it to a global market. And today, I just wanted to pay tribute to some of the wonderful little wink wink nudge nudge references that 14's localization team put into the names of some of the open world dynamic scenarios known as fates. Starting off with number 10, we have Thunderstruck in the East Shroud. If you happen to be a fan of 90s era rock music, there's a pretty good chance that you're familiar with the song Thunderstruck by AC/DC. And so, of course, every time I see this fate, pops into my head. Curiously, I get a similar effect from the Kingdom Hearts series.
Thunder! Thunder!
Can't imagine why. For number 9, we're heading to Western Lenosha for Sharknado. Now, I have to admit, this fate is a fair bit tamer than the 2013 movie it is referencing. Although, if you haven't seen it before and you love some of that old school B-movie cheese, I can't recommend this one enough. It was absolutely terrible, but is the very definition of so bad it's good. And in number 8, we have the fate Harder, Bigger, Faster, Stronger in Southern Thanalan. If this isn't a reference to the 2001 song Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger by Daft Punk, then I don't know what it is. I rather enjoyed the album Discovery that this song came from, and if you happen to enjoy the electronic genre, I highly recommend you give it a listen. Crab walking in at number 7 is the fate It's Not Lupus in Eastern Lenosha. Some of you might recognize this name as being a bit of a signature line of one Dr. House from the series House MD.
It's not lupus.
It's not lupus, because it's not lupus.
And the fact that the giant crab is named Cancer is the icing on the cake. At number 6, back in Southern Thanalan once more, we have the Corpse Bribe. Now, of course, if you swap out the second B in bribe with a D, you get Tim Burton's wonderful stop-motion animated film, The Corpse Bride. It's a musical dark fantasy film that is definitely worth a watch. Plus, I totally have a soft spot for Burton's animated films. And speaking of Tim Burton films, at number 5, we're off to the snow-covered Coerthas Central Highlands for Riddle Me This. Now I, like many others I'm sure, can't hear Riddle Me This without thinking of the Batman supervillain, the Riddler. Although in my case, the specific Riddler that always comes to my mind is Jim Carrey's portrayal in Batman Forever from 1995.
Riddle me this!
Riddle me this. Riddle me this. Riddle me that.
Older movies where Jim Carrey just goes totally off the rails are something special indeed. Coming in at number 4, we have Boom Goes the Ceruleum in Northern Thanalan, which is obviously a reference to the infamous Boom Goes the Dynamite clip. So, while writing this script, I went and rewatched the full clip that this is referencing on YouTube, and I have to say, it has got to be simultaneously the fastest and slowest train wreck I have ever seen.
Later, he gets the rebound, passes it to the man, shoots it, and boom goes the dynamite.
There are just some things that stick with you, and for me, this is one of those. And at number 3, we're going deep into the kobold mines of Outer Lenosha for the fate Full Metal Alchemist. Many anime fans have probably seen, if not at least heard of, the titular series. In my eyes, both FMA and FMA Brotherhood were enjoyable to watch. It's just too bad that the devs didn't add a Dullahan type enemy to the fate as well. It would have been a nice touch. Moving on to number 2, we're heading back to Western Lenosha once more for the classic I Just Died in 6 Arms Tonight. Now, I call it a classic as the name is a spin on the song I Just Died in Your Arms by Cutting Crew, which was released back in 1986. Anytime I see this fate, I always want to break out into song, even if I can only remember the first 2 or 3 lines.
I just died in your arms tonight.
And that's why it's up here at number 2. And now, finally, at number 1, we have...
Clever
That's right, the Fate Clever Girl in the Central Shroud takes my top spot in this list. Why, you ask? Well, I just love the old Jurassic Park, and this moment is so iconic that it has been used for many a meme.
I'll see what's so clever about that. Clever girl.
And I smile every time. And there you have it, my top 10 favorite Fate names in A Realm Reborn. But you know what? I've got a bonus one for you. In Eastern Lenosha, there is a Fate called Closing Time. I wouldn't necessarily say this is a reference to anything in particular, as it is a very common saying. However, it always makes me think of the song by the band Semisonic, particularly the part of the lyrics that goes,
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Conversely, I would actually appreciate it if you would stay a while and maybe even subscribe for more nonsense from me. Haha, got 'em! Alright, shameless self-promotion out of the way. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.